So, Deanna Estes, we're thrilled to have you here to talk about how you designed the Samsara of Life prose poem. What was your first thought when you got the project?
Well, I've worked with you several times, and I love doing projects with you. I know that I'm going to get the freedom to be really creative, so that always excites me. You know, when I do a project, for me, it's all about feeling. Even if it's something very different, even if it was about baseball, it still would be about feeling to me. And so I knew that I needed to have a very calm feel to it. It needed to be able to be clear. The text needed to be clear, so the background art needed to be, pretty simple. And I just started looking at sunsets because that just felt, sunset kind of can look like a sunrise, so a beginning and an end. And so once I got on that idea, I just looked until I found this particular picture that going into the blue was just like, oh yeah, that's it, the minute I saw it.
So what exactly were you trying to do with the coloring of these different colors? I didn't tell you what colors to use, so what were you doing?
Well, it needed to be more interesting than just, let's say, a gradation from one color to the other. So having an actual photo behind there gives it a lot of texture, if you will, and energy. It just came, again, it came when I saw that photo. It was just like, oh, yep, that's it. And that happens a lot for me. It's like I just see it and go, yes, that is exactly what it needs.
Deanna, when you designed the Samsara of Life, did you have any thought about the longevity, how long this thing was going to be lasting? Did that go through your mind as a designer?
It does in a subtle way, because there is, like with clothing, there is graphic fads, fashion, that change from year to year. So just not using old looking fonts or something that looks from the 80s. There's definitely a style to the years.
Were you surprised that I was pleased that I accepted this version?
Not really, because you have such good taste. No, because I just knew already that it was good, and you really see things clearly and easily. You usually don't object. You might have subtle differences, but actually I wasn't. My philosophy about life, long before I read this, was if I'm not happy, I'm not doing it right. And I believe our whole purpose in life is to be happy, period.
Tell us about the font selection for this poem.
Yeah, again, it's all about feeling. Fonts have a different feel from others, and we talked about it a little bit, and we decided we wanted it to be flowing and not big blocky text that screams out, something more calming. And so what I do, I decided it needed to be a script. So what I do is I just go through, I have probably over 300 fonts. So I just go through my fonts and I pick out fonts that I think might work. In this particular case, the S was vital, and that it was a readable S and that it looked good. So I go in and I say, okay, no, we got to weed it down to a few less, so I can choose, and then eventually it just finally comes down to, a set that works. And I think I presented you with a different font.
You did.
It was heavier, yes. I think it was this one, and it was too heavy. And so then I went back to my list and said, okay, what isn't as heavy as that? And and I actually look at every single letter and what it looks like in the word Samsara, so that I make sure that it's readable.
So Deanna, I remember when we were picking the fonts out, and I get this feel of when I know it's right, something takes over in me. But before that, it's kind of like I'm editing for you, and I don't want to make you mad or angry that I'm changing too much. So it might be close, but I feel like I don't want to change too many times. I love you as a designer, and I don't want to upset you. And then when I finally tell you and you send something back that just hits, it's like, it's magic. It's something that happens.
It is. Yeah, there is a lot of magic in graphic design. Sometimes I don't even know how to describe what I'm feeling or seeing. But yeah, it's a collaboration. And ultimately, anything I do is not mine. I'm not making it for me. I'm making it for the client. And I love when they give me input. I think that I encourage you because you are a little reticent, but no, that's how you collaborate and get to the end. My listening ability to hear you is really important because this is yours.
So, have you ever gotten angry at a client?
Oh yeah. I've even fired clients. It doesn't come in the form of them giving me questions. It usually is a personality thing. Multiple products like notepads and stickers and things like that. So it's always good to know that at the beginning of a project, because that also determines how I'm going to design it, the size, the colors, and everything. So any design that I create, if it's going to go on multiple surfaces, it helps to know that at the beginning.
Have a notepad handy?
Oh, I do. Yeah. So the notepad turned out really well too. And again, it's not a big, busy background, so, you can write on it, actually.
You mentioned going through every single letter. Well, I remember us struggling with the kind of S, the starting of the Samsara. So you did a lot of work on that, and I had no idea. In fact, I had to get help deciding if it was the right S or not.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that process.
It had to be readable. A lot of S's in scripts, if you look at them, they just don't look like S's when you take them away from the word. So I knew it needed to stand on its own, kind of like an initial. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on it, finding it and adjusting it.
Looking at it now, are you happy with it, or?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I like the colors.
Can you tell the viewers the first time you saw me put the sticker on one of the products, what you thought?
Well, we have these round stickers. If you want to hand me one, I can. When he put it, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is wrong with it? What is wrong with this sticker? And so this is the correct S, right? How it sits on the notepad. Well, Rick had put them like this, and it took me several minutes to just figure out I'm like, what is wrong with that? So see, even the position of your sticker changes how things feel.
you'd think I would know the orientation.
On a tube, who's thinking ups,